right? Top of the order. I want to start off by saying, hey, I'm Shantae J, just in case you didn't know. Now you know. And I get to serve as the Director of Community and Training at Start.coop. The other thing about this moment is I have been able to witness the beauty and the bloom of these 12 cooperative leaders. And when I say leaders, I want to actually put something there, these businesses, right? Because what you're going to see is that it has more than one founder or two or three. But the best part about it is that it is community, and that's where we are. And speaking of community, we couldn't do this work without these three folks here. Now, Rochdale Capital, Truist Foundation, Pluralize Capital, we want to say thank you especially for making this happening. What I mean by that, the funding. Also to our individual donors too, who were able to fund and say yes to seeing this cohort happen. There's something else I want to say. So you're at the Black Community Wealth Accelerator cohort. And just to give you a quick context, this started years ago when Start.coop was in a space of wanting to support the movement around Black cooperatives. What's also dope, and you might see them in a room, they're also connected to one of our cooperatives who will be presenting later this afternoon, is the movement around Black co-ops mattering. Yep, hashtag Black co-ops matter. And so I want to just give a special shout out to Elizabeth Carter Esquire, who started the movement, and Start.coop was inspired to start focusing on the pipeline of what it means and what it would be, what it would take for us to focus on the Black-led cooperatives within our nation. Taking a moment to say thank you, Elizabeth. We appreciate you. Who else we appreciate? You all here in this room, because you are a part of history being made. For 12 weeks, they've been doing the work. They've been making it happen. But see, the thing about it is that they haven't been in the same location, right? So let's give you a little overview of who we are celebrating for our 2025 Black Community Wealth Accelerator cohort. You see that map? You see where those people are? And don't worry, if you can't really go too deep into it, we will have moments where you'll be able to celebrate them individually. But as you can see, from Canada to Minnesota, Cali, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Kentucky, Alabama, Illinois, on the map is what we've been doing. And on the map is what they have been showing. And so speaking of showing, right? I talked about the thank yous and the appreciation for our donors who were able to fund to make this happen, giving shout outs to the inspiration behind Black Co-ops Matter to arrive at this moment. I do want to take a second and take another step back. I want to say thank you to the Start.coop team, right? So our staff of Mighty Five, as you can see on that screen, have been working with excitement for over the past few years, and especially over the past 10 months. And in doing this work with excitement, making sure that we do it right. I want to be clear. When doing it right for Black-led founders, doing it right to create spaces for celebration and also creating wealth and legacy, doing it right. But see, the thing about this too, shout out to the Start.coop staff, is that in order for us to make sure we did it right, okay, let's be clear, like for real, was that we had to go even further out into the space. We had to make sure that we tapped into cooperatives who were doing this on the day to day. Because as you can see with Start.coop, we're about building a more resilient US economy, prosperity among the many, not just a few. But see, this was a very specific ask and task. And in order to do that, we had to bring in a crew. This crew of folks right here, you're going to see in the room, you're going to see on the screen, and we couldn't have done this without them. Shouting out and giving round of applause if you can. Yo, I'm talking about from April to today. It might be a couple more days after that too. They have been showing up not only in the support of the pre and planning to make sure that we, Start.coop, got it right, in the during, right? So in the actual doing, in the doing, as coaches, meeting with their teams, being able to hold space with them, being able to support them and talking about them, their individual plans to scale and to focus on what it is that they wanted to make happen. Stas, Jennifer, Mike, Omar, thank you. Because with you all, we were able to make this happen. Yo, do a round of applause for them real quick using your Zoom reactions. You can use your favorite one. You could show a clap, 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 clap. And while you're still clapping, here's the thing. I told you we were going to go deeper, right? Of course, because I want to show you their impact. So, in thinking about our leadership council, we wanted to ensure not only as far as the support that they were providing, but also the cooperatives they will be working with. Today, you're going to experience them being able to share words of joy before introducing their cooperatives. Jennifer Bryant, shout out to Jennifer, who has been working with these three cooperatives here: Caribbean, Hive Mind, the local farm co-op. Then you're going to get a taste of Mike. You're going to see him popping on the screen as well. He's going to be talking about One Community, the Come Up Project, Sweet Soul, and Soul Food. But see, that's not it. There's more. Because in Omar, you're going to see him talking about his team, from Wiz Connect to Revolution Institute and ACAP. And there's more. Stars. Being able to talk about Under the North Star, Twin Cities Impact, and Earthseed. You feel that? I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Okay. So, with all that being said, here's the flow. Here's how we're going to move things forward as we're making things happen. Because guess what? You're going to be a part of this, okay? So pay attention. Here we are. So each cooperative will have 4 minutes for their presentations and 2 minutes for audience Q&A. We're going to manage that via the chat, okay? To support them in their 4-minute presentation that they've been working on for the past months and weeks and leading up to today. We want to make sure they have the space to be able to share. As I already said, they'll be introduced by their accelerator coach, which is going to be a special little nugget to just show them how much joy they have for their team. You see, I'm so excited. I want to stop talking so I can get to the teams. Okay, and scene. But here's also the thing too. What we're going to do is not only just watch them do their thing and prepare for questions, but what we're going to do is be in community. Because what we're also doing is witnessing the cooperative share their story, their legacy, their truth. And because of you listening in, you will offer them another layer. Here's the other piece. Not just listening, asking questions. Something that I get excited about when doing our programs is the feedback portion. What worked feels so good. So even if you don't have a question to share during the 2-minute Q&A, we would love for you to share in the chat something that you enjoyed about their presentation, either from their presentation way it looked to actually what it is that they're changing in the world and their communities. So let's do a test. Okay? Here's what is going to happen. You ready? I want you to go ahead to your chat. Click on that chat. Click on that chat. All right. And I want you all to share who or what brought you here today. Who or what brought you here today? So go to your chat and being able to find your chat. If you're on the computer, looking at the bottom of your screen and choosing chat. If you're on your phone, being able to come out of the video and choose chat. What or who brought you here today? Oh yeah, so we warming up the chat. We warming up the chat. Okay. An email invitation, Stas, Mike, Arda, okay, Charisma and Mel with Earthseed, Imani, Hive Mind, Elizabeth, Shantae J. Oh, that's me. Omar, I'm a fan. Uh-huh. Matthew, Hive Mind. You see that? You see that? Ooh, wee. The magic is there. This is happening. Ready to meet them. What? Let's go. Curiosity about grocery co-ops. Okay, Rebecca. What brought me here today? Shout out to Jinga, one of our Star Co-op grads. Uh-huh. Let's go, TCIC. Go co-op. Yes. Yes. Black Business Co-op Celebration. Shout out to Zenzelli. Yes, Stacy, Mello. So this is the energy, right? In the chat. This is also proof of the magic that's happening in community. You came here on purpose. So because you came here on purpose, it's only right that we set you all up for success, okay? So as you are continuing to share what or who brought you here, we also want you to take a moment and think to yourself, what can I offer? hmm Again, that could be a word of encouragement on the presentation or what it is they're doing. That can be actually, you know what? I think I know somebody who might just be able to help them out. Slide the name in the DM, right? Or, you know what? I'm going to follow them on the gram, put their email address in my phone book, and I'm going to follow up after the holidays. So, whatever it is that you think that you can provide, know that it's a yes and. And so, getting set up, we're about to get this party started. I told you already that I'm so excited and I'm trying to stop talking. However, to get you all set up properly, here's how it's going to go again. 4 minutes, presentations from our leaders, our cooperative leaders who have been working for 12 weeks to make the magic happen. 2 minutes Q&A in the chat. Where you will be able to ask specific questions and or share feedback. What did you like about their presentation? Or maybe there's somebody you can hook them up with. After that, we will move to the next person who will present. And what I mean by person, I'm more so saying a leadership council member. Let me be clear. The leadership council members will be introducing their teams. So let's get this party really started. If you all are ready to do this magic and you have access to your reactions, go ahead and show me your favorite Zoom reaction. If you are ready for this magic to pop off, yes, and again, there will be folks that will be coming into the room, into the celebration. So you'll probably hear me repeat a couple things when it comes to the introduction, okay? Amazing. You see that screen? You see me in the screen? Yeah, that's what's about to happen with the magic coming up now. And so, without further ado, we're going to get these parts started. There will be a total of 3 rounds, okay? 3 rounds, and each round will have 4 cooperatives presenting. So, first up, I want to bring up Mike, who's going to tell you a little bit more about soul food. Mike, you got the mic.
All right. I have received it. Thank you so much for that, Shante. Here's where I'll start. About 3 blocks away from my house is this elementary school, Susan B. Anthony School, that was shuttered probably 15 years ago. And, and it's not so, it's a beautiful building, right? It's a beautiful building, a beautiful open parking lot. My neighborhood association can imagine throwing a community circus, an event there, but it's been unoccupied for 15 years. So, Soul Food, Maurice and Clarence, they endeavor to transform these underutilized spaces into vibrant community food hubs that nourish residents, empower entrepreneurs, build sustainable futures. Can you imagine reactivating a space that has been vacant in your community for 15 years? Well, that's exactly what Maurice and Clarence endeavor to do with Soul Food. I have so much joy about seeing the pivots and learnings in this project as they came into this cooperative model and restructured their idea very rapidly. So I am looking forward to you all hearing from them. And with that, I want to bring up Soul Food.
Mike, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you for being here. Really appreciate each and every one of you that are here. Shout out again to Start Co-op and everyone involved. So I'm Clarence. The picture that you saw is of our co-founder, Maurice, and I am the COO here at Soul Food. Really excited to talk through what we're doing and how we're planning on building this out for the community. So let's go ahead and get started. So Oakland is a special place. Um, there are vibrancy. We know so much about culture because of Oakland. And one of the things that is really concerning for us, as Mike said, is that we have these empty buildings. People are walking by, they're feeling unsafe. We're seeing news stories about bippings and all this violence. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that people don't have places to make money, spend time, and have that third space again. Uh, Church halls are empty. People aren't going to church as much as they used to. And so we're seeing some of our cornerstones of our neighborhoods disappearing. And so our vision is that within 10 minutes of anyone here in Oakland, you should be able to go find one of these co-op food hubs, spend time there, bring your kids there, bring your grandma and grandpa there, spend time, enjoy food, and continue to develop the spaces and keep money in our neighborhoods. So for us, the Soul Food Hub is one playbook with three different ways to activate this space. Belonging Labs are these sponsored, funded community dinners and gatherings for us to talk about difference along the table, breaking bread with one another. Then we have our kitchen as a service to help those folks who are sharing their meals and recipes that their families have developed over the years and give them a licensed kitchen space to do that versus cooking from home or doing things that aren't unlicensed. And then lastly, our 90-day activations, which basically bring life to our neighborhoods. So imagine your favorite shoe store collabing with a church, and now they're having these in-person activations to give shoes out to the kids. These are the type of events that we want to do and the things that actually are Oakland, our Bay Area. And so our co-op is a worker-led activation studio is what we call it, where we take these places similar to where Mike just mentioned, Susie B. Anthony School, for example. We come there, work alongside the community and the host, and figure out a way to bring life back into these spaces. We also ensure that our community is a part of the co-op by having them as advisory council members so that they can guide our actions and ensure that we're always living to our promise, which is being true to Oakland and our neighbors. And so on the earn side, we are earning revenue through kitchen as a service. So these are paid fees, shared revenue from the day activations as well, which developers, et cetera, would pay for. We actually are in the middle of a contract with East Bay Development Corporation, which is a nonprofit community development organization that's building vibrant neighborhoods. And so that's going to be our flagship. And so we're looking to build on that. We've also spent a lot of time researching, interviewing over 100 individuals throughout California and Oakland, and also learning from the mistakes of failed food hubs in the past, making sure that we're de-risking our flagship. And so our ask is about raising 150,000 with 100 to 200,000 range to run our pilot over the next 12 to 18 months in Oakland. These funds are covering the lease, the light build outs, the small core team, and worker owned stipends, ensuring that we are actually employing people in our community and programming as well as compliance. In return, we'll deliver 18 to 24 months of vendors using the kitchen as a service and activations and 12 to 18,000 neighbor visits with roughly 50 to 70% of those as repeats. We want people to always come back and spend time with us. And I want to say thank you. And our core team again is me and Maurice. And we're looking forward to meeting with funders, partners, and people who want to volunteer, be a part of our co-op to help bring this to life throughout Oakland and the Bay Area. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Clarence and Maurice for Soul Food, y'all. Show some love in the chat. I already see some, I like the facts. I love the idea. Any specific questions you may have, either it's around the ask and or you want to know how you're going to support them with that 150K. Uh-huh. Wonderful presentation. Yes, yes. I see folks are percolating because it was so good, Clarence. Thank you for that. Keep on giving those reactions of that love for soul food.
I had a quick question.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Broderick out of Georgia with Hive Mind. I love the idea and presentation. It looks like you're connected to some community gardens. Have you also thought about, like, I guess, as a future sustainability option, connecting with local grocers or grocery stores or creating some kind of supply chain, I guess, as a way to kind of raise money too to help support? the endeavors.
Yeah, Roger, thank you so much for the question. It's a good one. Funny enough, California Hotel actually has a community garden in the back that's been defunct. And so we'll be there actually bringing that back to life to feed the local residents. We also have a lot of houseless individuals and neighbors in the area. So what we really want to do with that is teach people how to farm, how to urban grow, and work hopefully if we can produce enough, because it's not a huge garden, but with
Hmm.
restaurants and other organizations and feeding the houseless as well. So absolutely, we that's what we've done over the last years, collabed with a lot of these organizations and doing block parties and barbecues and all these type of things as well.
Dope, dope. Good work, brother.
Good work is
Appreciate you.
indeed the thing. Yes, let's show some love. Yo, give it up for soul food. And as we bring soul food off the spotlight, know that they're still being spotlighted in the chat. So make sure you check that out. Soul food, we had a question from Trenda that you can be able to see in the chat that you all can follow up on. Y'all see that magic? And they were the ones to kick us off. Mike, Clarence, thank you. As I bring up Omar, who will bring up our next cooperative, keep the chat busy.
All right. Thanks, Shantae. You all can hear me okay, right? Oh,
Yes, we can hear you.
okay. All right, great. So thank you all. Thank you all for being here. I get the pleasure and the honor of bringing up the African Canadian Agricultural Producers Cooperative. And for me, I got to say it has been a real pleasure to be their coach. They show up in force. There's a lot of them. And they're the only team, the only co-op that is coming from outside of the US in Vancouver in Canada. So it was a real pleasure and an honor for me also because the work that they're doing, these are farmers who are really creating a space to bring food from home for African immigrant communities in Vancouver. And I'm in the Bronx, I'm in New York, I'm not in Vancouver, but I live very close to the world's largest, or at least the Western Hemisphere's largest food distribution center in New York City in Hunts Point. And I've dealt a lot with labor issues in the market, in the distribution center, and businesses that are trying to get in. And I know that there's a huge challenge that local farmers, particularly Black farmers, face when trying to crack a very closed industry and a very closed distribution network. So it, for me, was really exciting that they even exist and that they're looking to create spaces for local farmers and create space for themselves as farmers and create food for their own community in Vancouver. So this was from the very first moment that we met, this was the issue that was front and center, how they wanted to address this and being able to break through that ceiling, uh, get behind the veil and really create opportunities where they've been challenged in getting it before. So, they've come together in order to do that. So I'm really excited to be able to introduce to you the African Canadian Agricultural Producers Cooperative, and Sahid is going to be speaking for the group, but it's a big group. Shahida, Jessica, Olu, they were all in our coaching calls, in the meetings, and I'm excited to present them to you. So enjoy. Take it over, Sahid.
Uh, Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Start Co-op, for this opportunity. I welcome all the audience to this great occasion. My name is Sai Shitu. I'm a member of African Canadian Agricultural Producers Cooperative. We have about 11 members based here in Vancouver. Some of us are in Surrey. We came together. Most of us are African immigrants here in Vancouver, British Columbia. And we observe that most of our people here are not getting enough nourishment when it comes to our culturally appropriate food that relates us back to our roots, probably because of the limited access to such foods here in Canada and the high import cost when bringing such food into a country like Canada. So we came together to set up a co-op to start an agricultural farm in Surrey, and that's what we've been doing in the last 1 year. And what are the solutions? Like I said, is for us to get land to be able to grow these culturally appropriate crops. Our vision is to be able to ensure that all Canadians has diverse access to relevant and nutritious food in Canada, and for our people to be able to spend their money wisely to eliminate import costs, ensure freshness. We are growing organic food here in our farm, and also to empower our community in terms of job opportunities. Our model is worker-owned right now. We are producers co-op, but currently, because we are just starter, we are just like putting leg in the game for now. We are workers co-op. We go to the farm to do the farm operation, till the land, clear the land, plant the seeds. So the ownership structure is such that everybody take parts in the co-op and take decision together. But in the next 5 years, we are planning to become a producers co-op where each member can grow the kinds of foods that they really want to grow. How it works from seed table to table. Active farming operations, weekly member meetings, training and stakeholder engagement. Those are the things we carry out on our daily basis. We go to the farm, we have member weekly meeting. We also engage with our stakeholders to be able to see where we can grow. Our business model is to sell those produce to in the farmers market and to grocers around lower mainland. And we also get revenue from membership contributions. And we hope to get profits from what we are able to do and use it, reinvest those profits into our farm operations. Market opportunity. Sorry, that's where our location is. It's a strategic location because we have so many Black communities there in Surrey. We also have significant number of people that are from African heritage. And because we are into organic farming, people are really looking forward to us. It is a niche market, it's a growing demographic. We want to grow as many African crops as we can to tie our people back to our community. At the bottom up, we have about 65,000 Black population here in British Columbia. The average annual spend of families here is about $150 million. And we hope if we can tap into 1% of the market, we should be able to at least raise 100,000 annual revenue. Competitive landscape. Our competitors are mostly grocery shops and some farm markets within the lower mainland. So, but we are also like partnering with some of the grocery shops to be able to sell our products when when they actually are available for them, for us to supply them. The customer validation, we've met with quite some number of our customers, our African brothers and sisters here in British Columbia to really gauge their what they really want from when it comes to African products. And these are the comments that we've gotten so far, and it's exciting that we have such opportunities coming up from different folks. Currently, we have secured 2-acre farmland. We have been able to get equipment lease, and we are at pilot stage. The future is for us to be able to expand to become a producers co-op, like I said, and to be able to become like a training hub for African farmers. These are the team lists. The projection, like I said, we are seeking for our ask is 100,000 Canadian dollars, and the money is meant to for operations, for living wages, and for customers outreach. The operations is to be able to get farm infrastructure, equipment, seeds, soil amendment, essential supplies. So, and the use of funds in general will be used for business support services, outreach, growth, consulting, and financial. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Let's give it up for Sahid, y'all. As you can see, there's so much in 4 minutes. What do you mean? I know, but you did such an amazing job. And so what we have happening in the chat already are questions that are flowing. And so what we're going to do is give you time, Sahid, to be able to answer those questions in the chat, okay? So let's go ahead and show Sahid some love. Listen, Omar already told you it was a whole crew squad. And the fact that they're doing this work, even wanting to spotlight what Saquon said about, appreciating the stress on African heritage crops growth, which is production for an African communitarian value. I said that right. Communitarian, worker on cooperative. There we go. Trying to read on two screens. Yo, still show the love for Sahid as we get ready to bring up the next cooperative. Yo, Sahid, great job. Great job. And you can go ahead and respond in the chat. that magic that is happening. Yes, yes, yes. As you can see, we're only two in. We got 10 more to go, but hey, there will be breaks. All right. I want y'all to make sure. So get comfy as we bring up our next cooperative who's you've seen this gentleman already before. But Mike, go ahead and tell us about your cooperative.
Hey, folks. Um, what? Yeah, one community grocery co-op. Like, let's talk about it. We have the experience and we understand, if we live in Black communities, if we live in communities that, have experienced food insecurity, what it's like to lose an anchor grocery store, right? And to not have an anchor grocery store for a significant amount of time. Always have a story locally, just up the street from me. We lost the Dominics and the store was vacant for, 7 years. Might be 10. I forget, the number right now. But that's a deep impact on a community that causes real concern for folks, that causes real financial challenges for folks when they have to move out of their community. One community grocery co-op is trying to resolve that for St. Petersburg, Florida. And, I'm just excited because what I know of this team is that they are deeply connected to spaces like National Black Food and Justice Alliance. They are deeply connected to Black-led Food Co-op Day within the Food Co-op Initiative. And they're going to talk to you about all of that. So they got community on top of community on top of community. And I want them to share about that. All right. With that, I'm bringing up the One Community Grocery Co-op team.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Erica Zenzele Hardison, and I'm the lead steward and board president for One Community Grocery Co-op. One Community Grocery Co-op was born from South St. Petersburg residents who are tired of temporary fixes and ready for a community-owned solution that brings health, dignity, and economic power back into our neighborhoods. Today, I'll share our market strength, our competitive edge, our go-to-market strategy, and why your $150,000 investment is the catalytic capital we need to move to our next phase. Next slide, please. South St. Petersburg has a 100 to 150 million annual food economy and 30,000 plus residents in our primary service area. Yet no major grocery store operates within our neighborhoods. This creates a massive leakage of local dollars. Our opportunity is clear. Primary demand is concentrated and underserved. Tens and thousands must travel outside of their community for groceries. Support across secondary and tertiary markets is strong. Local farmers, small businesses, civic partners, and regional visitors believe in food justice and cooperative models. Third, OCGC fills a critical gap. We keep money circulating locally through member ownership, partnerships with small farms, and reinvestment back into our community. This is a high demand, high leakage market waiting for a community rooted solution. Next slide, please. When we compare Publix, Walmart, Dollar General, and specialty stores, OCGC stands apart from them. Corporations cannot offer community ownership, local reinvestment, farm partnerships, integrated health and wellness, cultural alignment, and neighborhood trust. Food pantries meet urgent needs, but they do not build long-term economic power. We do. OCGC isn't just competing in the grocery market, we are creating a new value category rooted in equity, ownership, and resilience. Next slide, please. Our market strategy is already in motion. Presently, we are building trust through produce pop-ups, canvassing, community events, and membership drives. These efforts have grown us from 70 to 170 members in 9 months. Phases 2 and 3 will start in 2026. We'll launch a produce subscription and pickup program, strengthening reoccurring revenue and shopper habits while keeping overhead low. Phases 4 and 5 will happen during 2026 and 2027. We'll complete feasibility, advance pre-development, and secure a site, and then open the co-op grocery store. Our strategy is incremental, validated, and aligned with national best practices in cooperative development. Over the next 36 months, we project that we'll have 735,000 in total sources, 700,000 in uses, and 300,000 in reserves for sustainability. Your $150,000 investment directly supports training and development. Next slide, please. Sorry. Your $150,000 investment directly supports training and development, critical pre-development activities, and capacity building and staff support. This is not charity. It is catalytic capital that accelerates feasibility, site selection, team capacity, and our transformation from high potential to high impact. Next slide, please. Oh. In closing, OCGC is more than a grocery store. It is a community-led economic engine building health, ownership, and resilience for generations. We invite you to join us with a $150,000 investment that helps South St. Petersburg own its food system and its future. Thank you.
Brum, 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 brum. We doing a dance. This is not charity. What? It's catalytic capital. That's a whole bar. Okay. Yo, the chat is open for one question that we would like to ask. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. You can also share what you love. Zinzelle being able to take that energy in. Mike, not you bringing up that Chicago Dominics. I had a moment for a second. Yes, Mike sharing that St. Pete's on the way up. Okay, all right. Awesome. Definitely a bar. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You should put it on a shirt. You should put it on a shirt. Yes, yes. Let's keep showing some love. Let's keep showing some love. Seeing if we got a question in here before we go ahead. All right. It was so amazing that there are no questions. I love this. You know, questions also support the longevity. Y'all, let's give it up one more time for One Community Grocery Co-op. And feel free to use the chat and DM on the side if questions come up as we continue to get this party going. Yo, let's give it up one more time for One Community Grocery Co-op. You did amazing. Congratulations. Yes, 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 yes. Talking about groceries, I'm saying, what we putting it at? We talk about food. I'm saying, what we doing? And we're going to keep the energy going. One more round of applause for One Community Grocery Co-op. You see them doing the work in Florida. You see them making that magic happening. You see that. I see some recommendations starting to come in the chat so you all can be able to check that out. And so while we are so nice, right? We've already done 3 presentations. And I know you all are still inspired. Well, guess what? We got another one before we have a quick stretch break. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring up Jennifer to talk about the next cooperative. Jennifer, you're up.
Thanks so much, Shantae. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Bryant. I am with Project Equity, and it has been my distinct pleasure to serve as a coach for this Black Community Wealth Leadership cohort. And I am so happy to introduce the local farm cooperative. It has been so wonderful to work with Seth and Shardasia. A fun fact about this co-op is these are the 2 youngest participants in this cohort. And so it's been really wonderful to have their perspective in each session, and they truly represent the future of the cooperative movement. And with that, I will turn it over to Seth to present on behalf of the local farm cooperative.
Oh, sorry. Hello, how y'all doing? All right, I'm gonna share screen. So, hello, we are the local farm cooperative based here in Selma, Alabama. My name is Seth Scott. I'm 20 years old. Shardasia Harris with me. She's 19, and this is our pitch deck. So. We're starting with the problem, which is families in Selma don't have fresh and healthy access to food. And on top of that, young people channel their energies to more violent things. So Selma is known for like high violence and things. But what we want to do is grow organic food to help people with that. So we're yeah nervous. Sorry. So we're growing organic food for people that we want to sell out to the community. And on top of that, we're also providing young people with the space to come and relax and hang out on the farm with us. Our ownership model, which is based on our ownership model canvas, we are a multi-stakeholder co-op where community workers and producers share ownership. We make democratic decisions through voting with our board. Management oversees day-to-day activities, which is me and Shardasia, and community impact here, which expands access to food development and green space while strengthening local co-op relationships. So what is our mission and what do we do? So as I mentioned before, we sell organic food and supply it to mobile pop-up markets and things like that. We have a 3 acre um block of land that we can do whatever we want. We're getting an orchard and food forest there and plan on implementing more things so that people can have activities on there. And we have youth activities too right now, such as our summer internship and our quarterly events. So our business model, how do we generate revenue? Our main source of revenue right now is through grants. We also have membership fees that we pay every year, and then we sell produce to pop-up farmers market and um, our local church that we're partnered with, and they're our biggest supporters, and we sell to them as well. So customer validation. Um, so we serve 500 community members every year. We've earned $5,100 through our Roar services, which is our Roots of Advocacy and Resilience media project that we're doing right now. We have partnerships and we're increasing our partnerships as we go through conferences that we're going to. We're partnered with the Selma Center for Nonviolence, and we're partnered with Selma High School and a church, which is a block from us, along as we have 100 event attendees across the year at our quarterly events. So our current status for today, we are expanding the infrastructure. We've never had a building on the land, which we just built last year, I believe. We're also going to get we also plan on getting a greenhouse container so that we can grow year round, and also just vertical gardening equipment. I have to go into space. And then we are also selling to, well, we're partnered with UAB, selling our produce to pop-up farmers markets that they host every year. And we also want to get our mobile market up and running as well. Um, so the future of the farm. So what we want to be is selling our produce to local restaurants, businesses, and also expanding our youth-led model, guided by elders from the community. And with our mobile farmers market, which is something we're trying to have up and running in 2026, we want to reach the neighborhoods and apartment complexes and things, so that we can sell our food using the EBT, SNAP, and other things like that. And also, again, with the green space for the young people, having that infrastructure as well so that they can come and participate on the land as well. So meet the team. Self Scott, which is me. I'm the vice chair and forum manager. We got Shardasia Harris, who is the assistant forum manager and board secretary. Drew Glover, who is our board chair. Dula, who is our board member and worker, youth worker, and Miss Sylvia Smith, who is a board member and master gardener. So our financial asking, we're asked for $150,000. 50,000 of that will go towards our greenhouse container and infrastructure so we can grow year round, as I've mentioned before, along with vertical gardening and things like that and irrigation. 40,000 for youth stipends and training with our Roar Media project. So pay people to tell the stories of the community in Selma and their relationship with it. 30,000 for our CSA program lunch with equipment, outreach, and things like that. 20,000 towards our mobile market. We already have the van and things like that, but we need other stuff like storage, fuel, supplies, shelving, things like that. And then we're asking for 10,000 just for marketing, outreach, media, and having better community events. So thank you. Thank
Yo, let's give it up for the local farm cooperative as we bounce, 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 showing that love, y'all. Give them the love. Y'all can see it flowing in the reactions. Y'all did an amazing job. Absolutely spectacular. Come on, the visuals, the information. So many questions popped up in the chat, local farm cooperative, that we were able to highlight you all so that you can get back to them. So you're doing well. Go ahead and take your applause real quick. One more time, one more round of applause and love so y'all can go back to the chat and check those questions, check those information, but dope, dope, dope on that presentation. Hey, let's give it up. Let's give it up for our 4 first cooperatives who presented, okay? Come on now. Let's show them some love. Let's show them some love. Give me a second. Yes, 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 yes. Ooh. And so while you're doing that, it's like a 60-second little dance break. I'll probably do a little shimmy. But the other thing we want to make sure you do is follow them. You already know. I know you were like, okay, come on now, start.coop. They've given all of these facts. Where can we find them? You will be able to soon as it relates to their slide deck. In the meantime, in between time, if you go ahead and scan that, it'll be a follow-up in an email. We'll drop down a link in the chat as well. You'll be able to see the entrepreneurs. It'll pop up for you where you'll see all the entrepreneurs. Yes, yes, yes. And this will be recorded, and it is being recorded. So there will be a follow-up that's coming through. I know it's so amazing and incredible. So go ahead and take that 30 seconds. I hope you had a moment where you did go ahead and hydrate. Cheers to cooperatives. You see that? Wink, wink. No, really. Cheers. 2025 is the year of cooperatives, talking about from the UN, but you know what's really dope is that folks been doing this forever. And what's been amazing about this, as you are taking in the follow for the entrepreneurs and we're bringing up our next round, is with doing this work, as I said earlier, we wanted to make sure we did it right. I want to give a special shout out again to our leadership council members who focus specifically on how to support Black-led cooperatives for success. So much so that I remember week 1 when we kicked off and Omar led a session about the history of Black cooperatives, right? The specificity was there, is there, and the foundation is there. So when thinking about what you can do next, well, I want you to get comfortable real quick. So if you're coming back and you got to hydrate, go ahead and show me your favorite Zoom reaction because we're about to bring up that next round for you all with 4 more presentations. And remember, you will get access to the slides. The way you all are listening and interacting is mwah, chef's kiss. Really though. Here we are for another round of amazing dopeness, stories, legacies, and magic. And well, going back to our leadership council, I would like to bring Jennifer back up to the stage to talk about and bring our next cooperative to share with you. Jennifer, you're up.
Thanks so much, Shantae. I'm really excited to introduce this next co-op. It was such a pleasure to work with Patrick and Ricky Slade from Caribbean. They're out of North Carolina. And what's unique about their cooperative is that Caribbean is an existing facilities management business. They are successful and they want to spread that success and community wealth to other folks. And form a multi-stakeholder cooperative. And so I love this. When we talk about community wealth building, this is the sort of model that we're talking about, and they are doing it in North Carolina. And so really excited for them to share their story of how they are transitioning. The other thing I'll say, and one of the joys of working with Patrick and Ricky was because they're already an existing business, I feel like they were able to share that knowledge and expertise of being a business owner with some of the other businesses in this cohort. And so it's truly wonderful to work with them. And with that, I will turn it over to Ricky to present on Caribbean. You're on
You're
mute,
muted,
Ricky.
Ricky. All right, is everyone able to see my slides? All right. All right. Sorry about that. My name is Ricky Slade, one of the co-founders of Caribbean. And Caribbean is a North Carolina-based shared services cooperative whose mission is to turn skilled workers from employees into entrepreneurs. One of the problems we're looking at facing here is that in 2025, wealth and wage inequality in America remains a significant issue, with the top 10% of households holding nearly two-thirds of the nation's wealth, while the bottom 50% hold only about 2.5%. So we wanted to address the disenfranchisement with people working for companies who are giving their sweat equity but not sharing in the profits. Our vision is uplifting and impactful to build a network of minority owned businesses that grow together, share resources, and create long term equity. We wish to help talented tradespeople who may lack resources or expertise to start their own LLCs and support them with the strength of a united cooperative. At Caribbean, every member is an owner. Once they complete onboarding, each member receives a share of the cooperative and a voice in how it operates. We're governed by a board of founding and elected members, ensuring transparency, fairness, and shared leadership. We call it the business of family because everyone benefits, from our members to our customers, partners, and the community. Here's how the model functions. First, we help members form their LLCs and train them in facility management. Second, Caribbean secures facility service contracts and installs our members as the primary service providers, with additional service needs fulfilled by other member businesses within our network, keeping work circulated inside the cooperative. Third, through vendor trade agreements, members gain access to materials and equipment at lower costs, boosting both quality and profitability. Our revenue model is simple and sustainable. Members pay a one-time onboarding fee. Caribbean procures ongoing facility management contracts. Facility contracts are split 50-50 between the co-op and the service provider, ensuring shared success on every job. Vendor partnerships reduce operational costs, and shared business practices lead to end-of-year profit sharing for all members. Today, Caribbean manages over 30 facilities across North Carolina, from the Research Triangle to the Triad area. Our properties include commercial buildings, industrial sites, retail spaces, HOAs, and residential homes. Through our current network of 6 member businesses and growing, we offer services from janitorial to landscaping, HVAC, general maintenance, security, and much more. Our growth and client relationships prove that our model delivers quality, reliability, and real economic impact. Our future is driven by scalable, sustainable expansion. Every new member added adds more service capabilities. More capabilities bring more contracts, and more contracts create greater profit sharing for the whole. With automated operating software, we'll increase efficiency, response times, and the number of facilities our contractors can manage. Long term, we plan to expand into real estate and develop member-owned eco-villages that support community living and generational wealth. To accelerate this next phase, we're seeking an investment infusion of $55,000. These funds will support onboarding 10 new cooperative members, training and development, and help them in assistance in filing for their LLCs to become businesses of their own. They'll also fuel next 6-month marketing campaign, including Google Ads and business-to-business outreach, and help integrate automated operating software. Finally, part of the investment supports R&D for upgraded equipment that increases efficiency and reduces environmental impact. In closing, Caribbean is building more than just businesses. We're building a pathway to ownership, equity, and shared prosperity, because together we build, together we thrive. Thank you.
Come on now, let's show some love and give the round of applause. I'm talking about together we build, together we thrive. Y'all are just making the bars for my next rap line, in my career. Let's give it up for Ricky. All right. Yes, yes, yes. And so, Ricky, as you can see in the chat, the love is being shown, questions are being asked. And what we're going to do is give you the opportunity to take this moment in first with another round of applause, and know that you can be able to respond to folks in the chat. Give it up for Ricky, y'all. Come on now. Clap it up, show the love, show the love. All right. Let's give it up for Caribbean, y'all. It's so magical and so magical that you all can keep that same energy, because I'm going to bring up our next Leadership Council member, Stas. to introduce, nope, I take that back, Mike, to introduce our next cooperative. Mike, the floor is yours.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if the runner show was shifting because, folks were like, whoo, Mike been talking. Okay, but this is my last appearance, and it is to say that I met this next cooperator. I think initially we met as a part of like the Movement for Black Lives alternatives table. And I mean, that's where I met a few other folks in this room. But this is someone who I've seen has a deep passion for the work and has kept iterating on this project over time. So we're talking about Abiodun, 2020 James Beard Leadership Award winner, da, 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 da. And we're talking about this project, the Come Up Cooperative, which is an umbrella which also contains Sweet Soul Hot Sauce, which is their worker co-op. So I just appreciate again Abby's passion for the work and just continuing to try different ideas to move this project forward. So with that, bring it on, Abby.
All right. Thank you so much. Um, Here we are. So, peace, everyone. My name is Abiodun Charlotte Henderson, and I'm repping the Developing Come Up Cooperative and Sweet Soul Co-op. And I'm here to share with you what we got going on, our needs and our dreams, and how we're really trying to solve for the destruction that the crack era has brought on to our communities. So, many young people in our village are, forced into the revolving door of generational poverty, and mass incarceration. Uh, the system is, caging our young people every day, putting them in unnatural situations. And since they are our future, we know that they need sustainable income. They need community. They need to learn the ways of sharing and being with all of us. So we got the solution. Sweet Soul is a food manufacturing worker cooperative that provides a source of sustainable income to our formerly court-involved young people by producing and selling locally sourced healthy products to customers, which contributes to healthy, thriving communities. Uh, and this helps us fund Gangsters to Growers training program, which is run by the Developing Come Up Cooperative and empowers our at-risk and formerly incarcerated youth through employment, entrepreneurship, and sustainable agriculture. By training a cooperative workforce and providing infrastructure for the cooperatives that emerge from the participants, we can disrupt the prison industrial complex, provide sustainable jobs, and grow our vision for self-sufficient programs, products, and services within our communities. So right now, Sweet Soul is primarily owned by young people who graduate from Gangster Growers program. Um, they're not here because they were on a meeting with Nena, who was helping us really bolster up this cooperative. And it's eventually Sweet Soul will become a multi stakeholder cooperative that will be owned by the worker owners, the farmers that produce the crops that are in our products, and the developing, we just gotta keep, because we're developing, Come Up Cooperative, which will allow it to fulfill its inherent goal of funding the Gangster to Growers training program. So, one thing for certain, two things for sure. We know customers are willing to pay a premium up to twice as much for tasty, healthy, locally sourced food options in order to like tap in with what's going on with community. So we purchase ingredients like our onions, garlic, turmeric, our hot peppers from our close-knit farming community, like Kwanzaa, a cooperative started by Gangster Growers graduates. Product is made during the program, facilitated by Sweet Soul Co-op members, and is marketed and sold at different farmers markets, events, festivals, helping us get the good word out. As we continue to sell on our website, our goal is to eventually create more restaurant house sauce partnerships and get our product line into national chain and cooperative grocery stores, utilizing a broker, wholesaler, and a distributor. Through our market research, we discovered there's major opportunity for success. The premium hot sauce market is popping, 235 million. And if you want to get with the folks that are looking for that ultra premium, mission driven yumminess, that's 8 to 10 million households, which is 10% of all household users. So if like 19 million bottles are being sold in the US, we can get some of that market and become self-sufficient. So customers are like, yo, we love you. We love the mission. We love seeing the youth everywhere doing their thing. So over the years, since 2017, when the hot sauce was created, we sold over 10,000 bottles. Folks are like, yo, get with a co-packer. Focus on e-commerce. And right now, I don't know if I'm going over time. I apologize. Right now, okay. So yes, we are making sauce right now. And this is our team. We got Zai, Bree, Ajante, Devesha, we got Nena, and myself. We're looking to triple what we're doing within 3 years using the co-packer. And our ask is we're trying to raise 250,000. It's going to help us, 150 of that is going to help us shore up 2 shared kitchen spaces that we've been in deep relationship with. One will be a production space, one will be our training space, and then 100,000 to provide a living wage for these workers that have been working, and to really get this sauce going. So thank you.
Let's give it up for Abiodun, y'all. Thank you. Thank y'all. The magic is magic, y'all. Taking a moment to go ahead and highlight you, being able to see in the chat, there's already some chatter that's happening that's so dope. Shout out to you all being featured in Everything Co-op's holiday, the holiday list. So make sure you get that sweet soul hot sauce. Matt already can attest to it. One more time. Give me one more time for the Come Up Project, Sweet Soul Co-op in Atlanta. They've been doing this. They've been doing this. They've been doing this. And so bringing up to the stage now, because Mike had to put out there that we wanted to see him. I would like to bring up another leadership council member. You've seen Mike, you've seen Omar, you've seen Jennifer. Let me introduce you to Stas. Stas.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to introduce this next co-op. I personally am a speculative fiction writer, so when I found out that there was a group called Earthseed that was going to be in the program, I was like, I gotta meet them. I gotta work with them if I can. And they have been just the sweetest, most creative and visionary group. I personally do not have a green thumb. Anything that I try to grow dies immediately, but it makes me wish that I lived in Chicago because I truly believe that if they could help me, I'd be able to have a garden too. I think that they are doing beautiful work, bringing Octavia Butler's vision from Earthseed into life, bringing speculative fiction into reality, and I know you'll fall for this team too. I'm excited to introduce Charisma and Mel, and I'll share their slides.
Hi everyone, I'm Charisma and I've been working with Earthseed for over 3 seasons.
I'm Mel and I'm in my 2nd season with Earthseed. Our co-op draws major inspiration from Octavia Butler's work, hence the name Earthseed. In Octavia Butler's Parable series, Earthseed is a fictional belief system grounded in the principles of change, readiness, and adaptability. As the world continues to change, these principles remain incredibly important to us.
Who are we? We are Earth Healers. Earthseed Native Landscaping Edible Gardens, LWCA, is a Chicago-based worker-owned garden installation and landscaping business founded in 2021. We provide skilled services by Black and Brown land stewards to build a collective capacity to do landscaping and beautification efforts for the land, people, pollinators, and ecosystem. We currently have 10 active members.
Our purpose is to enrich the bond between Black and Brown communities and the land. Through the cultivation of an urban ecosystem, we aspire to create a legacy of land ethics and stewardship for generations to come. Why we strive to heal the land: restoring and regenerating ecosystems, soil remediation,
Reclaiming and remembering our agency within the land, and increasing access to green spaces for Black and Brown people in areas of knowledge, resources, and connection.
designing with care. Clients are looking to design their space with beauty and purpose, but may not know how to start that process or worry about the costs. Some of the ways that we provide affordable services is through using accessible materials such as cardboard, customizing client proposals, and sourcing our plants locally.
Through our work, we offer landscape services in native and perennial gardens, edible gardens, and agricultural carpentry. We build community through youth and intergenerational garden education, neighborhood beautification efforts, and deepening relationships to each other, land, and food.
From our services, many clients have been able to restore the health of their space, create a routine, and gain understanding of plant care. Some of our accomplishments over the years include LWCA Incorporation, developing our first youth program, tripling our clientele, and being the only Black and Brown worker-owned landscaping co-op on the south side of Chicago.
As Earthseed evolves these next few years, we hope to continue growing our clientele, increasing community and corporate partnerships, and acquiring a second vehicle. We operate through solidarity economics and regenerative land practices, using client insights to refine services, strengthen community value, and drive long-term revenue sustainability.
What we're asking for today to continue our vision is $100K in grants and investments. We'll use these funds toward training programs, increasing community outreach, for equipment, vehicle maintenance and insurance, also savings and overhead.
We appreciate you for taking the time to listen and learn about Earthseed. With your support, we will continue to restore ecosystems by preserving the land one space at a time.
In the words of Octavia Butler, we are Earth life, fulfilling in purpose and destiny. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you all so much for the opportunity to be a part of this cohort.
And we say Shy City. Hey, let's give it up for Earthseed, y'all. We already saw the love coming in the chat, all of the recognition and knowing the history, the historical way in which you all have been moving and grooving and being parables in so many ways. Yo, let's give it up for Charisma and Mel for that presentation, y'all. Show some love. Get it up, get it up. Use your reaction. Show them the love, show them the love, show them the love. And we're going to keep this energy going. Yo, Charisma and Mel, great job on that presentation. One more time for Earthseed as we get ready for our final presentation for this round. And we're going to keep that energy going for that Shy City, I might say, if I do say so myself. Bringing up to talk about our next cooperative, we have Omar. The floor is yours.
All right. I'm back. Thanks, Shantae. Folks, I'm excited. I'm happy for everybody that's been a part of this cohort, and it's been a privilege to be a coach to the three teams that I've been coaching, and it is very much the case for Revolution Institute. I've had the pleasure and the joy of just spending time with Saquon and Lavelle, and have really, gotten to take them in. And I want all of you to really appreciate that Revolution Institute is doing work that is extremely challenging. They're about really creating opportunities, not just for one co-op, but to create one after another. They're out to really transform businesses in Chicago, in the Chicago area, and create ways for particularly Black businesses to form that are worker owned, and using the approach of converting existing businesses. And I've been in the space of cooperative business development for over 20 years, and I can tell you, for those who don't know and may be new to this, that this is extremely hard work, and they are doing work that for too long has been ignored. That they are doing the work for those of us, all of us in the cooperative space. There's an underlying principle that even goes beyond the seven cooperative principle, and it's that those who are feeling the impacts of a thing, have the answers and have the solutions. And Revolution Institute is doing that, and particularly in going beyond what people who are doing business conversions do, and they're doing it for Black workers and looking for opportunities to take businesses and put them in the hands of Black workers. And so it's difficult, it's challenging. They're going to be up against a lot, and they're going to require all of our support in order to make that happen. And I'm excited for what's to come for them. So I introduce to you Levelin and Saquon. I think Saquon is going to be speaking today. Oh, actually, no, Levelin is going to be speaking. Thank you. So Levelin, it's all yours.
Thank you, Omar. We appreciate that. Thanks for joining Saquon and I today. At the Revolution Institute, we're focused on something simple but truly transformative, helping Black and brown workers become owners in the companies that they've helped build. We acquire strong legacy manufacturers and transition them into employee-owned enterprises, so jobs stay local, communities stay strong, and wealth stays where it's earned. Across the country, we're facing a major succession crisis. Millions of small business owners are nearing retirement with no succession plan. That puts decades-old companies at risk of closing or being sold to absentee owners who move jobs away. And beneath that problem is a deeper one. Black and brown workers are almost completely missing from the manufacturing ownership landscape. Workers who keep these companies alive rarely share the wealth they create. That's the gap we intend to close. Here's our solution that meets the moment. We acquire small and mid-sized manufacturers and transition them to employee ownership. This protects jobs, preserves legacy, and builds community wealth. It's not just a new ownership structure, it's a new economic pathway, especially for Black and brown employees who have historically been locked out of ownership. We're building prosperity, not extracting it. Our ownership model is designed for long-term stability, a nonprofit parent to keep mission first, a sponsoring cooperative for democratic participation, employee majority ownership so workers benefit from the value they help create, and RI remains a steward, supporting governance and alignment. This model removes barriers like needing upfront capital and opens ownership based on contribution and tenure. How it works. 1, identify and source strong legacy manufacturers. 2, acquire and structure them into employee-owned entities. 3, support and scale through training, capital access, and ongoing operational guidance. It's supported transition, not a handoff. We stay with the companies to ensure first-time employee owners succeed. Our ownership model. Oops, I think I went the wrong way. Yeah. Let me go back to our business model. Our business model is diversified and sustainable. Transaction and advisory fees, profit participation, mission-aligned partnerships, long-term investments from our portfolio companies. Together, these revenue streams allow us to scale without compromising mission. Customer validation is very strong. A growing pipeline of $3 to $10 million manufacturers, partnerships with CDFIs and national philanthropies, including Chicago Community Trust, BMO, Polk Brothers, and JP Morgan. Deep alignment with Project Equity and Seed Commons as regional brokers. Owners want legacy, workers want stability, and communities want rooted businesses. Our model delivers all three. Where we are currently. Infrastructure and funding secured. Our acquisition buy box finalized. 3 promising companies early stage diligence. Governance support ready through Project Equity. A growing advisory and investor network actively engaged. We're positioned, prepared, and ready to execute. The future. The future that we have includes us expanding in the Chicagoland area, all across the Chicagoland area, launching a revolving acquisition fund for speed and flexibility in time, building national partnerships with CDFIs and advisors, and replicating our model in underinvested communities nationwide where Black and brown workers stand to benefit the most from shared ownership. Our team. Our team is strong and very diverse, from experiences in manufacturing, finance, and business transition and community development, from Saquon's leadership to our social action acquisition committee, operators, investors, community advisors, and academic leaders. This is our team that can steward these companies into successful, inclusive ownership. Our financial ask. We're seeking $2.5 million in mission-aligned capital. Funding will support deal sourcing, diligence, seeding the acquisition fund, and governance training. Your investment will help create ownership pathways for Black and brown workers and keep great companies rooted in their communities.
Let's give it up for Revolution Institute. Thank
you.
No, thank you. Hey, yo, show some love. And one thing I want to be able to highlight, as they say, Shas City, Revolution Institute participated as an affiliate of the cohort, and they have been instrumental in knowing the work, doing the work, and being true to the work. Show some love and keep the information flowing as you're sharing in the chat. As we give it up one more time for Revolution Institute, we're going to take a bit of a 60-second stretch break. I really want you all to get up. I really want you to be moving around. Fun fact, I'm standing up. Yes, I'm not that tall, but it's okay. It's all right. Do me a favor and go ahead and get up. And before you do, go ahead and scan that QR code. Shout out to Q, who's been handling the behind the scenes of the spotlighting and supporting the gems that are being dropped with the presentations. Yes, we're going to do a little. In my past life, I was a dancer. That's what I tell myself every time I start moving. Yes, because it is a celebration and we've been doing this magic. This wasn't going to be one of those regular type of pitch events. You know that, right? Okay. It's a graduation showcase. Yes, taking 20 more seconds before you come back to the screen. Make sure you find something to hydrate you because we have one more round to go. And then we'll close out with a really big blast of a celebration for all of our cooperative founders and leaders who have been doing this work for the Black Community Wealth Accelerator. Hey, I'm taking it in, taking it in. 5 more seconds. And if you're back at your screen, do me a favor and select your favorite Zoom reaction, whether that's the screen on the computer or the screen on the phone. Show me what you're feeling like as we've already been through 2 rounds. Yo, that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 8 cooperatives because they what? 7, 8. All of that. And so we got 4 more to go. And as I reminded you earlier, you will be having access to the slides and the presentation. So continue listening in and engaging as we start our next round, our final round of our founders sharing their stories, their cooperatives, and making that ask. Bringing up our next cooperative, we're going to have Omar come back to the stage. Omar?
All right, thanks, Shantae. So this is my last time back here. It is a joy and a pleasure to introduce to you WisConnect Holding Cooperative. For me, it was a joy to be on calls with both Nikki and Tiffany. The energy that they brought to every single call was just always high and really focused and really digging in deep to really break apart and understand and move forward a concept that they came into. They were brought onto a team that to move forward this idea, which I found really fascinating and incredible. And that I had originally heard and had many conversations with one of the co-founders, Elizabeth Carter, whose name you heard mentioned before. But for them, what really was inspiring to me is this idea of really taking control of assets and really recognizing that folks that are starting businesses are always struggling in our communities are struggling with ownership and control of assets for long-term sustainability and not being in the place of being a victim and having to be forced to move out and being constrained in your ability to expand. So they've been working around this issue and coming up with really creative ways to address it. And so I'm not going to explain their approach because I'm going to leave that to them so you can really get the full flavor of it. But it's really an incredible and a wonderful process. And I'm really excited to have Nikki and Tiffany who are going to break it down together. So I'm going to turn it over to you both now. Take it away.
All right, let me know if you can see my screen. Not yet. Okay, coming up. Loading. Yes. All right, we ready to go? We're ready to roll. All right. Thanks everybody for having us. My name is Tiffany Williams Jenkins, and I am here with co-founder Nikki Bravo, and we represent WisConnects Holdings. So as you know, and we heard, and we know, Black women continue to face systematic barriers in traditional financing and ownership structures. But this is despite the economic impact and being the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, employers, and community builders. We do all this while receiving less than 1% of available funding. Yet, if Black women-owned businesses simply receive similar funding to that of white women-owned firms, they would contribute an additional $361.2 billion to the U.S. economy. I'm going to repeat that, $361.2 billion to the U.S. economy. This gap is not a reflection of capability. It is a reflection of unequal access, and this is an opportunity. We envision a commercial community hub, a building where Black women entrepreneurs can access capital to grow scalable businesses. Those businesses then contribute to community wealth. But it's more than just the building, because WisConnect is establishing a foundation that strengthens our families, stabilizes communities, and expands opportunity. Our success can then be replicated in neighborhoods across the city and beyond. See, our cooperative structure takes Black women entrepreneurs from solo survival to shared success. It's built to endure, benefiting the next generation and the ones that follow. So I know you're asking, how do we do this? Well, a co-owned building with co-owned businesses, shared resources, and a collective voice. WisConnect is a member-owned and democratically governed, demonstrating shared growth that benefits the whole collective. So this works by leveraging the expertise of the business owners. From different areas, different sectors, we generate revenue through the businesses owned by the cooperative and housed within a building owned by the cooperative. WisConnect offers what traditional spaces never could. As Black woman and as a Black woman entrepreneur, this is an opportunity to scale my business or our businesses at increased rates, creating millions of dollars in revenue to continue the work that we're doing, serving our communities. And where are we? We were so excited really to share that we've moved into the formal formation stage. Our founding members are 9 experienced entrepreneurs, educators, and advocates. We're already leveraging our collective expertise to shape what comes next. Each of us have deep roots in our communities, and we share a vision to build a transformative, lasting ecosystem. See, we're here to make this big. We're moving Black women entrepreneurs out of isolation into shared success. We're building together, we're scaling together, and we're owning together. That's how we go from renting spaces individually to purchasing buildings and creating community assets that last. So now you're asking, how can you be a part of this endeavor? I know.
The total investment is $2.5 million, and this is for our building acquisition. But we are experienced entrepreneurs. We understand that we have to take levels and to this project. So our ask today, because we're not new to this, we're true to this, is seeking $500,000. We've identified a site, and this investment will help us to complete pre-development work as well as provide startup capital. The investment will help us to onboard our first cohort of 10 Black women entrepreneurs, providing essential shared resources and operational framework. This funding positions us to be fully prepared for the complete capital stack. We are building the first multi-business cooperative on the South Side of Chicago. And as you know, South Side of Chicago is here to represent. And we invite you to join us in launching the very first of its kind in our community. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
And they say, Shy City, show the love for Wiz Connect. You know, I'm from the West Side, by the way. I'm just saying, I'm in the state, Shy City. Okay, all right. But you know, yeah. No, but really though, let's give it up for Wiz Connect, y'all. Y'all can start sharing in the chat, 290 to be exact. Questions and resources. You need that energy, y'all. I'm talking about bars, right? And they say, Shy City. Yo, I'm new to this, but true to this, to making the magic happen when it comes to Black women. Yo, the love is showing in the chat, and people will still share some resources and next steps. One more time for Nikki and Tiffany representing Wiz Connect, y'all. And they say, Shy City, energy is live and the energy is flowing. And so as we get going, bringing up our next focus, stars for our next cooperative.
Hey again, y'all. So care work is essential work. I'll say that one more time. Care work is essential work. How we treat our elders, how we treat disabled members of our communities is a clear indicator of our well-being. And how we treat the care workers who do that critical work illustrates whether we're really in integrity with our values. Twin Cities Impact Cooperative is paving a path for how we fill the gaps in our social safety net without expecting those care workers to be normalized to self-sacrifice and underpay. Oops, there I am. So as a worker cooperative, the team has power, agency, and dignity to do this critical work. And all of this is true while providing services at more accessible costs than their competitors. So I can't wait to introduce Trila, share more about how they do this work, and invite you to support them.
Hi, my name is Trila. I am the CEO of Twin Cities Impact Cooperative, where we are exploring cooperative approaches to local community challenges. Next slide. Hold up. Can you go to the presenter screen? I'm sorry. Are you able to show the presenter?
I can, but then everybody's going to see it. I don't know if you want to have that there.
Okay, give me a second. I'm sorry. Just give me a minute. I'm so sorry.
You good, no sorries needed. In this moment, people could get hydrated, taking a moment of pause and opportunity for you to get hydrated. Go ahead and move those legs around, mix those toes up. Roll your neck, make sure you're getting that mobility in. Gotta stay flexible when we're talking about cooperatives.
Okay. We are a Minnesota-based worker-owner cooperative providing essential services to the elderly and disabled members of our community. We proudly offer comprehensive support through meal delivery, chore assistance, transportation services, and we'll be expanding to an adult day program. Our mission is to foster independence, dignity, and a sense of community, ensuring that every individual we serve experiences the highest quality of care and support. The reality is that seniors, adults with disabilities, and low-income families are struggling due to SNAP cutting SNAP cuts, rising costs, and government shutdowns and reduced access to essential care. That's where we come in. We fill this gap by providing affordable services that support daily living, promote independence, and empower community members to care for their neighbors. So how do we do it exactly? We provide meal delivery, homemaking, chore services, and transportation, all at affordable rates. Right now, we have 8 staff and provide services to 15 clients. And we are ready to expand to 60 clients and launch a necessary adult day program. Our values shape the way we do this work, not just the services we provide. As a worker-owner cooperative, our team has a stronger commitment and deeper trust with our clients because they have power and dignity in their work. We fill a necessary gap in services while empowering workers who have been historically devalued and disenfranchised. We know our approach works, and now we're ready to grow. We're committed to giving the power back to the people who do the work. Each worker has a voice, a vote, and a shared stake in the cooperative's success. This ensures decisions are made collectively, profits are reinvested locally, and everyone benefits from the impact we create. How can we make this service so accessible? The Department of Human Services provide county waivers that cover our client payments for essential services. We have expanded our funding sources through agreements with health maintenance organizations, including UCare and Medica. We also offer options for clients to pay for our services through private pay and further diversifying our options for revenue. The market size here has huge potential. There are 500,000 seniors and people with disabilities in the 4-county area we serve. 150,000 of those are low-income households needing the home services we offer. And that looks like $36 million market size annually for meal delivery alone, $20 million annually for transportation, and about $50 million for homemaking and adult day services. The total addressable market is nearly $100 million per year, and even a modest penetration translates into $5 to $10 million in annual revenue. We have already established a service delivery process that works with 15 active clients and are already receiving positive feedback and increased demand. I know we can tap the expanding market because we are already seeing success and traction in the pilots we have run. 90% of surveyed residents expressed interest in our services. 30 residents pre-registered for our upcoming services, and 85% of our current clients request ongoing services. So we know the need is there and people appreciate what we are offering. So far, we have had a 10% growth rate month over month. So what is different about the approach from others doing this work? We are one of the only providers offering services to both elderly and disabled people, including meal delivery, and we're the only ones doing it at accessible pricing. We aim to grow by showing strong metrics of impact doing targeted outreach to senior services, healthcare partners, and local agencies. We will leverage testimonials and case studies to highlight our reliability and value, including through digital campaigns. We will grow by getting waivers, expanding our adult day center, and growing our team. We aim to bundle our services and use partnerships and technology to streamline our operations and outreach as we grow. We are asking for $250,000 to expand our impact. With that funding, we'll hire 8 additional people from our community so we can serve 60 more clients. This investment doesn't just fund services, it changes lives. It empowers our staff, strengthens our community, and ensures that seniors and people with disabilities can live with dignity.
And on that note, go ahead and give some love real quick, okay? Because we're talking about dignity, we're talking about the elder care, and we're talking about Twin Cities making that magic happen. And as a reminder, we will provide the presentations later next week. Yo, let's give some love. Come on now. This is hotness, right? The way to give back is the best way to do it, especially when it's intergenerational love. Yo, Twin Cities, the answer is yes. And one more round of applause, yo. Drop your questions, your resources, and your glows for the presentation. Mwah! Chef's kiss. Great job. And speaking of great job, we got two more to go. Oh, I got to flow. And so what I'm going to do now is transition us to bringing you back up, Stars, to talk about the next cooperative. Stars, the floor is yours.
Yeah, this is the last one, and I'm so excited to introduce this final team. When I first met the Under the North Star team, I was truly dazzled in the interview. They made me want to take up yoga again, and I do not want to do yoga. It made me want to sign up for their classes, and I do not live in Kentucky. And I truly believe that they inspired me to feel that there's a community that's invested in the well-being and the sustainability of social justice organizers. Because we're in a moment where burnout and turnover feels constant, and yet organizers are critically needed. And so this team is creating a safe haven, a space for peace, connection, and embodiment, which couldn't be more important. It's been truly an honor to get to work with them over these last months, to see them actually move into their physical space and dream up their program for next year. I'm so excited to introduce you to the Under the North Star team.
Thank you so much, Stas. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure we do the whole Zoom thing. Okay, hi everyone. Everyone can hear me? Okay, I'm Asia Holson Barber. Thank y'all so much. My co-owner, Maya White, is also on the call. We are two of three co-owners of Under the North Star, a new yoga and care studio in Louisville, Kentucky. So why don't we just take a minute? I'm presentation 11, so let's take a pause, reset, maybe actually like readjust ourselves. Like if you're sitting somewhere, if you're standing, why don't you bring some attention to your body and see if there are any readjustments you want to make. Start to bring attention to your breath without changing anything. And then maybe you want to start to lengthen your inhale and similarly lengthen that exhale. Let's take a breath together. So go ahead and release any breath that you have right now and inhale through the nose and sigh it out. These are serious times that we are in. So any moment that we can have to just reset, it's a gift. So thank y'all for letting me offer you that. And thanks for those who were participating. So we are Under the North Star, which, as you probably can guess it, we're a yoga studio. And we have our mission is to be a landing space for this fusion of cultural yoga and care practices that don't just stay at the individual level. We have big dreams of transforming our city and our state through a very intentional social justice strategy that weaves yoga into the plan. We're a multi-member LLC. We're the first Black co-owned cooperative yoga studio in Kentucky, and we're social movement led. All three of the yoga co-owners are deeply respected leaders, both locally, statewide, and then truly nationally in social justice work, and all considered experts in our field in varying ways. And so we have this broad range of yoga expertise that really allows us to have a sharp analysis about mobility and emotional recovery. But we also have this operational expertise that's really beautiful as well. Between the three of us, we have ran or are currently running organizations with a 2 million plus budget. One of our co-owners was a former co-director of the New Economy Coalition, which just undergirds so much of the work that we're doing here in this cooperative. And then additionally, we have this tactile implementation skill when it comes to actual like programming and putting on events at smaller scales, like a small class, all the way to community size events that can bring out hundreds of people. And so we're really weaving all of this together to open the first Black-owned cooperative yoga studio in Kentucky, but also the first Black-owned yoga studio on the majority Black side of Louisville. So you can actually see all the red dots on this map are the existing yoga studios that exist at all in Louisville, and our purple star is our yoga studio, which I'm not sure if you've tracked it yet, but it is on the Ohio River. And we name our studio in honor of Harriet Tubman and the work to follow the North Star that so many of our ancestors took. And the fact that our yoga studio is just 2 blocks away from the Ohio River, we don't take that for granted or the mandate of what that means for the type of work we need to offer to our community. So since planning, and I want to offer this slide so that you understand how dynamic this owner team is. Since our very first planning meeting in June of 2025, so we've been talking to each other for several years now. We've been floating this idea, but we got serious in June 2025 and said, okay, we're going formal. We have negotiated and signed a 10-month lease for our pilot studio space with a possible 3-year extension that is cooperatively ran with many of our social justice partners in the state. We have piloted programming and already raised $6,300, including this incredible cooperative experience. And we've developed our business model. And that's all just in a couple of months, while 2 of us were working full-time in movement across all levels. And one of us was delivering our very first newborn, her very first baby ever. So I offer that again to say that we're just at the beginning and we're very clear that the vision is here, the studio is here. It's just the work to get there. So what's next? We're really excited for some winter planning with each other. And so we're in the middle of our soft launch programming right now. We're going to be building our digital infrastructure, and then we're publicly launching. So stay tuned. This picture right here is a picture of our studio. I won't get too detailed into the financial projections. Know that the money is clear, the operations are tight, the plans are clear. But how can you invest? Stay updated about us. Please join the waiting room of our Instagram as we prepare to launch. You can become our student. If you choose us for an organizational package from this meeting within 6 months of this date, you will get a discounted rate. And we're also looking for research and development grants. So definitely reach out if you have questions. Thank you all so much for your time.
Look at me. I'm already muted. I'm over here having a whole moment because I was resetted and grounded. Let's give it up for Asia and Under the North Star, y'all. Show them some love. Give them some love. Share it in the chat as you all have already been doing. The message, the birth, the newness, the everything. Giving them some love. Amazing presentation. One more time for Under the North Star, Asia. Great job. And as Asia pointed out, the 11th presentation, which means we have one more. And what better way to have a reset to get you refreshed, to get ready for the finale of our presentations. Jennifer, the stage is yours.
Thanks so much, Shantae. I want to thank every single person who is here today that has stayed to see all of the cooperatives. That means so much because they put so much work into these presentations. I am so excited to introduce Hive Mind. It has been an absolute pleasure to work with Charlie, Imani, and Matthew. They are deeply rooted in Athens, Georgia, and are doing a place-based investment cooperative. What I really appreciated about working with them, I feel like I was taking notes during the call. I learned so much from them. They've poured so much into this, and I'm really excited for you all to see what they are working on. And with that, I will turn it over to HiveMind.
Greetings, everyone. We are HiveMind Community Investment Cooperative, and we are so grateful to Start.coop for this opportunity. My name is Charlisa Coleman, and I am one of the co-founders of Hive Mind, alongside Imani Scott Blackwell and board member Matthew Epperson. We are excited to share our vision with you. We are building a solidarity economy that will uplift and transform our community through permanently affordable housing, intergenerational healing, and interventions that improve the quality of life for QT BIPOC individuals in Northeast Georgia. We are responding to the problem of investment opportunities, misdirecting resources outside of the community to corporations and industries, and driving rapid racialized displacement, environmental destruction, and intergenerational poverty, rather than solutions that actually meet the community's needs. We are fighting rapid and racialized displacement and redressing economic neglect by pooling our investment and consumer and political capital to stabilize our community and build wealth, community resilience, and self-sufficiency. We are owned by tenants, workers, small businesses, community members, and regenerative investors.
We will steward various sources of mission-aligned capital into projects which advance our 5-point plan, which is to fund projects focused on community food security, PD BIPOC care worker relief, Black-centered political education, community self-defense, and ultimately address money trauma through our community assemblies, which will assist us in deploying capital. Our startup business model primarily receives revenue from grant dollars, small business, as well as nonprofit services. Moving into phase 2, we will add rental and occupancy revenue in addition to debt and revenue share from small businesses we are investing in. And finally, in phase 3, we will add revenue from larger investments, from donor advised fund contributions, as well as regenerative investors, who we define as the folks who prioritize the holistic well-being of our community over maximizing financial returns. Here, you can see that we've highlighted 3 key markets that are central to our investment strategy. First, on the left, we have estimated our serviceable, obtainable market to be 30 to 50 QT BIPOC-owned businesses. In the center, 150 to 250 regenerative investors. And on the right, 75 to 100 households in our first portfolio of properties by 2030.
Our customers already interact with many institutions, lenders, philanthropies, crowdfunding platforms, and affordable housing providers. Each meets one need, but none of them connect these needs as part of a regenerative local wealth building system. HiveMind is the only model that centers local QT BIPOC businesses, provides a vehicle for community investors, and owns real estate that stabilizes tenants, all governed by the same people. Where others serve a segment, we serve the system. We have validated our idea with stakeholder interviews, a pre-launch feasibility study, and in conversation at our Resist and Build dinners. We are currently working to establish the pilot project we will use to launch our investment fund. We are exploring possibilities with 2 landowners stewarding adjacent properties that combined would total 180 acres. We are continuously studying community-led development models from other places to adapt and try on in our area. From there, we will continue to scale what works. In our best case for the next 3 to 5 years, HiveMind becomes a fully functioning community-owned economic engine. We will scale from approximately 50,000 to upwards of 1 million in grant revenue annually. Following our initial fund launch, raising at least 150,000, our investor community will grow to bring in more than $2.5 million in investment capital. Our portfolio will grow from our 30-acre pilot project to more than 200 acres stewarded by our co-op.
We've created financial projections, which is what you see here, based on real-world peer growth, such as we've seen from groups like the Guild in Atlanta, Kachua Impact Fund in Colorado, as well as the Kensington Corridor Trust in Philadelphia, to conservatively estimate that within 10 years, we expect to be earning nearly $3 million per year in annual revenue, largely from occupancy charged to residential and commercial tenants, who are tenants of properties that we have acquired by the investment cooperative. These projections are based on making about 10 impact real estate investments and about 40 small business investments.
Our team has raised more than $75,000 through grant funding, individual and in-kind donations. We cannot take our work to the next level without funding for staff salaries, so we can commit to raising capital full-time. We need $1.5 million to acquire the land for our pilot project and to begin to develop the site. We are open to both grant and patient capital. We are asking for a $750,000 commitment to our development in order to leverage an additional $350,000 from our local government. This initial investment will jumpstart the momentum we need to build legitimacy and excitement around our fund launch. Then we will invite initial investors to close the gap for our first development and help us reach our $1.5 million goal through our investment fund.
And
Thank
let's
you
give
for
it
your time.
a find. And they did that with 3 people. Okay. All right. Wiz Connect, like, we're going to do it with 2. Hive Mind was like, we're going to do it with 3. The rest of the cooperatives came up with 1. And as you can see, the numbers, the representation, the showing up in community for each cooperative. Yo, let's give it up for Hive Mind for closing us out for the 2025 Black Community Wealth Accelerator Cohort Graduation Showcase, y'all. Yes, yes, yes. And as you know, you can drop down some resources. You can drop down the questions. You can drop down those globes for their presentation and what they're making happen in Athens, Georgia. And just like our other 2 rounds, we want to make sure you don't forget to follow the entrepreneurs. So you can go ahead and take a little QR code moment, scan that QR code. As you can see, it'll take you back to that Notion page that has a list of all of the cooperatives present. In that information is also their email addresses and their website, gives you the description and also their purpose. What a way to start and what a way to close, but we're not done just yet. So just letting you know, we're still rolling for like another 6 minutes. But if you have to drop off, we totally understand. Before we get into the big round of applause for all of our cooperatives and the magic that they've been able to do, I actually want to bring up someone who you probably know. I mean, he's like a colleague or, something like that. He's also like the founder and executive director or something like that. And so, Greg, I want to bring you up to the stage to share a few words.
Oh my goodness, Shante, thank you so much. I mean, the teams were amazing, honestly, and this is my favorite day of the year watching the teams present. And my only regret is that we just don't have more space to let everyone see the amazing work these founders have been doing. A huge shout out to you for the last 3 years, really leading up to today, from our initial research to the Black Founder Peer Circle you ran to now leading this accelerator, to Q for making all the magic happen behind the scenes, to Ashley and Arda and our board. I want to say thank you again to our leadership council for their coaching, their curriculum, and their overall leadership for this program. And these founders are so amazing. The way they've worked on their business plans, their ownership model, their presentation skills. And let's be honest, these models are really hard to launch, but they're so important for those of us who want to change the landscape of what's going on. And as the only national accelerator for shared ownership, from our entire team's point of view, this is the most important program we run every year. It is the most impact. We hear the most accolades for it. And yet somehow it's the hardest to fundraise for. And so we're so grateful to Truist, to Rochdale, to our small community of individual donors for making this cohort possible. If you want to support more work like this, if you want to support next year's cohort, or you know someone else who might be interested, please drop me a line, Greg at Start the Co-op, so that in this moment of need, we can keep accelerating enterprises like this that share wealth, because what y'all are doing is amazing, and we just want to support it and make it easier, because these are hard models. So thank you all for showing up and for being here today. And Chantel, I'll hand it back to you.
And I'll catch that. Thank you, Greg. So as we bring this to a close, it is always bittersweet. Something that I enjoy saying is it's never stop. It's never goodbye. It's pausing and I'll see you later. And so I'm going to take a note out of Under the North Star's book, and I want to take a moment to ground us. And so with your permission, I want to invite you to go ahead and turn off your cameras as you take in this energy. 2 hours of magic, 12 weeks, the work that they did. They put it in, they showed up, they participated. And the thing about it too is that they grew, right? This was something that we had been working on Start.coop for some time. And to see it happen is magical. The other thing about the cohort is that they were one of the first to utilize our Lean Co-op 2.0 modules. So put that with also live learning, the whole flipped classroom energy. They were doing the work, watching the videos, taking notes, applying it to how to build their business models, their ownership models, and making sure that they showed up with questions, but also with milestones. As you've been able to witness, this is the work, and it doesn't stop. The program is celebrating today, and it's only right that I want to close us out with some words from Dr. Jessica Gordon Nimhart. In Collective Courage, she said, the seeds have been planted. As it continues to unfold, the history of African American cooperative ownership demonstrates that Black Americans have been successful in creating and maintaining collective and cooperatively owned enterprises that often provided not only economic stability, but also developed many types of human and social capital, as well as economic independence. The potential is great, and the future of African American cooperatives is wide open, not just to continue on the margins, but to flourish more fully. The seeds have been planted. And taking that, I want you to embrace that with your permission and understanding that the seeds that have been planted in this conversation, the history that has been made in this moment will continue to grow. And so I ask you all, what seed are you all planting, and how can you make sure the next generation is prepared to see it grow? And on that note, congratulations one more time to our entrepreneurs. You can turn back on your video, giving them a round of applause, showing them some love and the magic that they made happen. Thank you again to our Leadership Council members. We are so appreciative of you all of the work that has happened. I hope you all get some time to be able to take a little bit of a reset to know that the work is still going. We will follow up with you all with an email next week with not only the videos, but also how you can find the entrepreneurs and continue the support. You'll be hearing more from Start.coop team on what that will look like. Make sure you scan that QR code to meet the entrepreneurs. And from me personally, entrepreneurs, it has been a pleasure to be in your presence and to witness your magic. Congratulations on your bloom. See you later. Y'all take care now and be great. Go plant them seeds and make sure they get watered. We don't want them dry. Keep it up. Keep the magic going. And we'll see you all soon.